Hello everybody, I'm Dakian. It's now Monday the 4th of July 2016 and I'm welcoming you to my weekly update about all the painting I've gotten done in the past week and that I'm planning to do in the coming week. So kicking off with completed projects, these are mostly Malifaux. We have here the Zoraida, the Avatar of Fate. Now, if you look at the box art, it didn't give me a whole lot of hints. Basically, just Zoraida herself is lit, and she just skin color and white rags. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else on this box. So I just had to make it all up by myself. We have little details like the voodoo dolls. I like the one with the scissors there, and also the one hanging from a noose. And we have the swamp thing coming up out of the ground, and I added a bunch of foliage to the whole thing to make it a bit more interesting. And yeah, I'm reasonably happy with that. The other Malifaux model completed is the War Wabbit, who is, I painted it kind of bright because I felt it was appropriate for, it's a comedic figure. I mean, I've seen people paint this really in the usual dark and gritty Malifaux style, but to me this is a goofy miniature, a goofy model with these crazy gremlins riding the huge rabbits. So I decided to go with something light-hearted. I've also painted some scenery. Now these first two pieces are on the kind of lipped bases used in Malifaux because I thought they could be used as markers. Specifically, there's a scenario in the basic Malifaux rulebook which needs a wagon marker on a 50mm base, and I think this will serve nicely as that. Now the table, I don't know exactly what I could use for, but I'm sure I can find some use for it. It's an interesting little piece with all the detail, the little stuff, the skull and the candle and the quill pen and the ink jar and the book. And finally the well, which is just stone and some wood, and nothing horribly interesting or unusual about it. Anyway, that's my accomplishments. I mean, apart from that other big summer project that is getting its own video series, but I'm sure you're following that as well. This is what I've done on the side, apart from those. We're talking current projects in the works. I'm still working on the Victoria's avatar. I've shown you before that I've already finished the base for them. It's just the actual Victorias themselves, and as you can see, I've started some working on the metallics, the steel specifically, and it's just not even done. It's mostly done, but I'm pretty confident I can finish this by next week. So, what do I want to add to the cube? I'm actually thinking I'm not going to add any more miniatures to my painting cube because I want to focus on the Getting the Light Out project, and I want to not distract myself from that. But we can still do some scenery, and we have this big piece, the big gate thing, the Age of Sigmar bit of scenery, which, as you can see, is primed. It's assembled and primed. I did that a long time ago, and then I just put it aside and never did anything more with it. But as a side project, I think I might be able to slap some paint on this. And I do, this is a piece that could be painted really simply. I could just decide that everything is stone, everything is the same color, and just dry brush the heck out of everything, maybe some washes, and call it done. But it's also possible to decide that it's much more complex. So the bricks are one color, the puts, I don't know what it's called, forget what the English word for it, stuff outside the bricks. Plaster is the word for it. Is a second color, and of course the decorations around the windows and these should be a third color, and this might be a fourth color, the comet. You know, you can go into a lot of detail on a piece like this. And if I should, by some marvelous accident, finish it, I have more scenery in the works. I think I've shown you before some, let's go over here, these pillars and this hut. I can get started on those if necessary, and I actually have one of these card papercraft buildings in the works as well, that has been started and not completed. So there's a lot of scenery to do if I want to get into that. And closing out the show with some show and tell. Those numbers, by the way, look really awesome, don't they? But they need to, because I, as I think I've mentioned before, have a bunch of Kickstarters incoming. And also in the past week, with the abrupt decline of the British pound, I've been tempted to place a bunch of orders to take advantage of that. And I've got even more stuff incoming. What did arrive this week is this box here, which is comprised of some minis. I got 2 more crew boxes from the old first edition Malifaux. The Hoffman box, which is the guild's construct master. He has these steampunk robots that he runs with. Leviticus is an outcast. He's an independent sort of cross between an Arcanist and the Resurrectionist. Sort of, he does sort of zombification, but he combines them with steampunk gadgets. So he makes these steampunk abominations, and he has these hollow waifs, as they're known, his totems, that he uses to anchor his life force so that if he dies, he can come back. And finally, his henchwoman is Rusty Alice, which means I have a second model for Rusty Alice now. I already painted her up once, but oh well. And finally, what was in this order was a whole mess of resin scenic bases. And these are all lipped 30, 40, or 50 mil bases, meaning they're appropriate for Malifaux. So they will get possibly used in the future for some projects, though I don't know what I could possibly use this base for, because most of it is taken up by this huge skull. It needs a very specific mini to very specific pose for a mini to be able to stand on a base like this. But I like having options. And these might be a little too high tech for Malifaux, but nah, I'm gonna say they'll work. And simple rock bases are not an issue. And piles of skulls are always good, right? And I don't feel I need to show you all of this stuff. Just, I have a lot of options now. Anyway, that'll be it for this week's weekly Monday update. Keep following my Getting the Light Out project, and yeah, click like on all my videos and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that already. And I will see you in future videos. Bye bye.